Okay, border issues. Um, so, article coming out of Blanding, Utah. Illegal immigrants in the U.S. often die anonymously. This is April 2nd, 2008. My paper has it. And right between the articles, government to resume building border fences, which will have the Bush administration bypassing 30 laws and regulations in an effort to finish building 670 miles of fence. Another article, kids allegedly plotted to attack teacher, third graders, kids 8 to 10 years old. They had duct tape, a knife, handcuffs, it was a broken knife, and other items. So we're going to knock the teacher out because she had scolded one of the kids. And what else? But oh, and then one about police dogs. 60 pounds of marijuana, 7 ounces of cocaine, 5 grams of heroin, 600 tablets of ecstasy. What's just interesting to me is that that's a lot of drugs. That's God, I mean, there's a lot of money being made selling drugs. So that's pretty bad. Okay, so illegal immigrants in the U.S. often die anonymously. Let's see. Since 2002, about 2,000 legal immigrants have died in the Southwest. I mentioned that number to my father, who said that people were shocked when that number got up to 300. So they found a lot of guys, often from Mexico and Guatemala. They carry typically no ID, just clothes on their back, and the dream of a better life from the one they left behind. In the Southwest, victims of heat stroke, car crashes, and other calamities. Let's see. So more than half of the border crossing deaths in the Southwest since 2002, so about 1,000 deaths, have occurred in Arizona's Pima County, which includes Tucson on the Arizona-Mexico border. The forensic anthropologist in Tucson said a quarter of the victims there lacked names. So about 250 guys are unidentified. Let's see. Many remains are little more than bleached bones after a few days in the sun, making them almost impossible to identify. They died in the middle of nowhere. Let's see. In the case of one victim, he died in Utah among strangers. It is unknown when or how he entered the country, but on the night of April 15th, 2007, he piled into a sport utility vehicle in Phoenix, joining 13 other people for a trip to St. Louis. They crossed the Arizona-Utah state line at 3:30 a.m. At some point, the driver drifted out of his lane, overcorrected, and lost control of the vehicle. Rolled several times. 7 passengers were thrown out of the vehicle. 8 people, all legal immigrants, were killed. The driver told agents he was paid $1,000 to drive the group. And let's see. So the one body they came across, or one of the unidentified men, transported 300 miles to Utah Medical Examiner's office in Salt Lake City. Took fingerprints, photographs, samples from his body, and no missing persons report filed. So, and they're going to take the DNA. So, out of all the unidentified people, they've been able to identify 70 people. That's for Guatemala and Mexico citizens. So, just a significant number of individuals who are dying coming into the border, and they're off the grid. There's no regulation, nobody looking out for them, nobody concerned about them. And so you have these guys who make money sneaking them across the border. These individuals also make money sneaking drugs across the border. they tear up, property, U.S. property, and shoot, kill cattle that belong to ranchers. The ranchers are hiring men to shoot back. You have guys who are just, they're already in the United States, and they're just trying to get around. So they're doing various illegal activities, like just trying to transport, these illegal immigrants to different communities, and accidents happen. Now, I just believe that the way to do it is start instituting a ID program. Have it at the border. Have it with all these guys saying like, look, if you want to come in, get this ID and always carry it. And if we ever catch you without it, that's when we'll ship you back. Because I mean, that's pretty much what's happening right now. Whoever they catch, they ship back. But start giving people an ID, start tracking them where they move, what's going on with that local community and the economy. Because the other thing is that economists, they can't figure out, this segment of population that, they're not really paying taxes. And 11, 12 million people who are part of the economy, they're not paying taxes. That's, I don't know. I see it. I don't know why other people don't see it, but that's what you got to do. And if there's an employer benefiting, hey, tax that guy more. Don't tax the guy who's barely being paid minimum wage, if he's lucky, on whatever job. So that's just my opinion, though. But it would certainly prevent things like this, where since 2002, so 6 years, 2,000 deaths. Uh, and there's also the other thing about, there's an article recently that the Colorado River, which normally would empty out into Baja, the Gulf of California, and so flow through, land, its particular Mexicali farmland, that because they're damming and cementing up what's left of the Colorado River, it's drying out there's like land water, groundwater that would just kind of seep through, or seepage water. So there's a lot of farmers who their land's drying up. They can't do the farming that they used to do. I don't know, when I heard that story, it kind of reminded me of this one Air Force guy was telling me that in Germany, they employ Germans to work on the air bases. Well, if that air base was ever to close up, the U.S. government would have to basically give that German citizen a stipend and support that individual, because their jobs, their job where they were working, now no longer exists. So unless that guy purposely chooses to go somewhere else, it's basically there has to be a German working that job, and so now if the U.S. isn't there, they have to give the guy welfare. So I don't know. I just thought that was an interesting story that I had heard, and this new story about what's going on with the Mexican farmers. I don't know. Just kind of curious if there's something similar, or it just seems that there's a connection there.